of 6, brought to you by AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo, Exhibitor University. My name is Teresa Ronk, and I am the marketing contact for Exhibitor University. For those of you that have not joined us before, let me explain what AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo University is. Well, it is a free resource for you and your exhibiting staff focused on expanding exhibiting know-how and providing sales and marketing tips to improve your company's exhibiting performance and ROI. This education will be delivered to you in the form of e-newsletters, social media posts, and live and replayable exhibitor webinars. You can view the webinars, newsletters, and upcoming webinar schedule on the Exhibitor University sub-tab under the Exhibitor Resource Center tab of the exhibit's website for AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo. Okay, moving on, today's webinar is entitled Expanding into Global Markets. And in this webinar, we will go over how the Department of Commerce Commercial Service can assist with international sales opportunities, what on-site services are offered at the AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo as part of the International Buyers Program, how to complete a profile in the Export Interest Directory. We'll have a case study of an international B2B success, what programming will be offered in the International Market Briefing that will be held in Chicago, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll have time for Q&A. Today we are very fortunate to have a panel from the U.S. Department of Commerce who will be presenting Christian Koschel, Senior International Trade Specialist, Tony Pugh, Project Officer, International Buyer Program, and Jefferson Oliveira, Senior Business Development Specialist. As well as we are going to have Isaiah Donaldson from AACC that will be our last presenter of the day. Okay, now I'm going to turn the program over to Christian. Christian?
Great, thanks very much, Teresa. Hello, everybody. This is Christian Koschel, and again, I'm with the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's a pleasure to have you here to join us to learn about some of the advantage of some of the international opportunities that are available through the AACC 2014 show, as well as when you're done with the show, when you're following up with a giant stack of international business cards that you get at the show. So just briefly, who the heck are we? A lot of people get us confused with a lot of other agencies or private entities. So just to review, we are a federal government agency, the U.S. Department of Commerce. And we're a really small group within that called U.S. Commercial Service. We have been around and shaped for roughly 30 years. Our goal is really to help promote and protect U.S. exports. So we're a trade promotion agency for the federal U.S. government. Network of pretty substantial reach, both in the U.S. as well as overseas. And in a nutshell, we offer free counseling as well as some paid services because Congress requests for us to recover costs. So I guess if you take away anything from this, it's that you know that we're a really small federal government agency that helps promote U.S. Exports, and we've got feet on the street with a global network of knowledgeable specialists overseas. So what does that network actually look like? Right here, we have a structure of U.S. export assistance centers throughout the U.S. So pretty much every state and typically every large city within those states, we have a trade specialist that can connect with you, sort of like an account manager, to help you navigate the structure of our agency to help with your export objectives or international business questions. And you can find your local office on export.gov. So for example, I'm based in Chicago, so I'm in our Illinois office. Our website is export.gov/Illinois, and we have our full contact list there. So that's just our domestic side, which doesn't even do our full, which is essentially that we're the U.S. commercial section of embassies and consulates overseas. We have locations in about 74 countries, So if you add up the embassies and consulates, that's about 150 international offices where we have local specialists, for example, like Jefferson, who will speak later in the presentation, that help connect you with the international opportunities in your market sector overseas. So how can we help? Well, roughly, this is what we do. We help you on market potential and challenges to say, well, where's a good place for me to go with my goods or services? We have market research. We do a guide to doing business in certain countries. That's called our country commercial guide. We help you find sales channels, business partners. So really that's what we're doing day in, day out, is helping you find, for example, a distributor partner overseas. We also assist with regulatory, legal issues. So if you have a product that requires some sort of registration with local health authorities, you can look to us for some preliminary advice on those situations. We can also help settle some commercial disputes, of course, before they go to court. And then also, importantly, on cultural issues. For example, why is my international lead taking so long to get back to me on this issue? Was it something I said? Was there a better approach that I should take to it? Those sort of issues we're glad to help you with. Drilling down a little bit further, so those are the broader things that we do. More specifically, a partial list of some of our services is included here. We help you ID markets. We do market research. We do something called the Gold Key Business Matchmaking Service. We're helping you travel to a market, set up meetings based with potential partners, so then you can basically get off the airport, go to your meetings, and then go to your hotel, and then come back with a full agenda of having met with qualified partners. We do due diligence, both sort of light, quick background checks, as well as full background checks, which include a review of liabilities, as well as reference checks. We support a lot of trade missions, both hosted by state governments, also local chambers, and also individual companies that are maybe market-specific, going to a specific show or country overseas. Important to this presentation, we escort buyer delegations to trade shows. So for example, to AACC in 2014 in Chicago, we'll have a group of escorted buyer delegations coming from around the world, which our staff helps to connect with the U.S. exhibitors at the show with the buyer delegation's needs. And Tony, as well as Jefferson, will talk more about that later. We also help U.S. companies on international advocacy and to promote their businesses overseas. So it's important for me to just tell you these things because a lot of people aren't aware that our agency is there and that we offer these types of services to help U.S. companies. And here are two examples of recent client testimonials of just some of our local clients here in Illinois. To give you a flavor of how some U.S. companies use us to their advantage to help increase their export sales. So with that, that's my quick contact information, and I think we'll have more about that later. I will transfer control to Tony to move on with the rest of the presentation.
Hello, everyone. This is Tony Poo. I am the International Buyer Program Project Officer. Thank you, Christian. So basically, what the International Buyer Program is, it's a joint government industry effort that brings international buyers to domestic trade shows. So trade shows in the U.S. With the primary goal to coordinate and hopefully have a success story out of these business-to-business matchmaking efforts. The slide that is on the screen right now is actually for the next topic, the quick walkthrough through the business-to-business software. So just really briefly, I just want to go over the on-site services, looking at it from a program perspective, what we offer to the U.S. exhibitors, the suppliers of the U.S. goods. So we have the International Trade Center. It's a meeting place. It's both a lounge area for the international buyers to be welcomed and to also hold their meetings. There'll be chairs, tables, and private conference rooms, as well as they can, of course, meet you at your booth as well. The location last year was pretty near the registration area. There'll be light refreshments, interpreters, many times those would be the delegation leaders accompanying the buyer delegates to help with that. And so the International Trade Center will be open throughout the show, both the conference and the expo. And there, Christian had mentioned there'll be export counseling services available, both from our domestic side, so Christian and our other team member, Sandra Campbell, from the Tampa office in Florida, and then also the delegation leaders should bring their delegates as well. And that actually goes into one of two of our services. One of them is called the Showtime, which is a business-to-government counseling service, and the other one is a business-to-business platform, which is just as it is an opportunity for the business or the buyer delegates to meet with the U.S. exhibitors. So really quickly, the Showtime program, we have both gives an opportunity for you guys to speak with a country specialist about their home market, everything from market entry to identifying partners and document challenges, etc. Showtime would be typically held on the expo days, so Tuesday through Thursday. And this year what we're going to do is also make a makeshift, we call it Global Market Insight Program, which is similar to the Showtime, but basically gives you more on a regional level an opportunity to speak with a panel of industry experts. So that way you can maximize your time at the show and speak with maybe multiple markets you're interested in, or just a regional level, let's say Latin America. So some tips from this is just opportunity for clients to ask questions. To really maximize this is to really make your reservation or make your appointments early on, so that way the commercial specialists have enough time to prepare for the appointments and really create a more substantive meetings at the show. And the second service, the business-to-business software, what we have is started with it last year. It's called the U.S. Export Interest Directory Marketplace. And so it's a new platform that we developed to enhance these business-to-business meetings, which I will go through a quick walkthrough, starting with this first slide. It's a live scheduling tool. It basically just facilitates these one-on-one B2B meetings and matching these buyer delegates with the U.S. exhibitors. So on the first slide, where you can see that what I just said, it's a new platform. This new service gives international buyers the opportunity to search for the U.S. suppliers based on a multitude of needs, anything from product categories, business interests, country of interest, and has many features to this software. So we're going to go through first, starting with the search features. This screenshot is basically just a home page of using the search feature. Where you can see on the top is where you can enter your keyword. But going more into this, the search feature does have various ways to search for. But the most important part is U.S. suppliers would need to first log in to activate their accounts, so that buyers would have the opportunity to search for the suppliers. Here are just some screenshots of how, from a buyer's perspective, what they would need to do to schedule appointments, send messages. So it's really critical that early on, and judging by the timeline, should be sometime early May, to really log into your account and create a comprehensive profile of your products, your interests, and such, so the buyers can really understand what if you have interests that coincides. And so here, it's basically the same thing, it's just using the different functions of the search and what it populates. So the other one is the scheduling. It is the other function what's neat about this, it is a real-time scheduler, so it is dependent on the company, on you guys, to confirm or deny the meeting request as early as possible so the buyer can see if there's not a match, they can move on to someone who is another supplier on the list and facilitate these appointment requests pre-show to really maximize the time at the show. And then here's just a screenshot of how the scheduling tool looks like with the time slots. Here again, it's a messaging feature. So this it's a really neat function as well. It gives copies into the country specialist so they can assist whether it's they just need for clarification with the conversation, or if it's a non-response or slow response, to really help facilitate the process along. And here's a screenshot of that. And then finally, just registration, which I mentioned early May. It's basically the export interest directory, which will be all the fields that the basic contact information in your interest and what kind of market you want to explore. That kind of information will be imported or uploaded into the software so that can be searched and coordinated early on. And here's my contact information. It's tony.poo@trade.gov. Also my number 202-482-0905. And thank you for that. I'd like to pass this on now to my colleague Jefferson at the Sao Paulo office.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. I'm Jefferson Oliveira. I'm a trade specialist here, located in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm specializing in the healthcare and life sciences. And I'm very happy to be here and to be able to share with you my experience working in this IBP program. I've been working for the commercial services for 13 years already, and I can tell you that I did already something like 50 IBP shows in the Showtime program, and I probably already met more than 1,000 companies during this time. I'd like to let you know about that our Showtime program is a very interesting program that can help companies to meet suppliers and also importers for their products. I'd like to give you some information about how it works. You already saw some screens from the program, what foreign companies or American companies must do to be part of this B2B program. Just to let you know how it works from the importers, from the foreign companies. We start, at least for the Brazilians, we start the recruitment for the show in case for the ACC. We explain them why it's important to be part of our program. With all the support we can provide to them to the show, we give them like space for meetings. They can check for suppliers online. They have refreshment. They can meet people there, and mainly they can identify suppliers and partners for the products they are looking for. So it works with a schedule of appointments in advance. So when they go there, they don't need to be asking for a time to meet with the supplier. They are already waiting for each other. Sometimes they can even start previous communication to know better each one of them. And we can also help them with marketing regulatory advice. You already saw the guidelines for the online registration, which is pretty simple for them. We help them with very easy step-by-step, and then they can identify the U.S. suppliers for the products they are looking for. And you saw the American companies, they confirmed their interest with their buyers. and check the date and time that they are available for that. Some case studies that I would like to share with you that happened during AACC 2012. One case, we had a Brazilian company that was looking for suppliers of antigens and reagents. So it's very common now in Brazil, companies that are looking to start their own manufacturing of products. And they were looking for suppliers of those type of ingredients. So one of my delegates, this company met 3 potential business partners during the show through the B2B program. They follow up with the leads. They discussed what would be the best approach, the best type of business for them. And we just heard that the registration of the product happened this is going to happen in 2014, this year, because it takes some time for this to happen. But we had a very successful story that happened through the B2B program. Another case, which was simpler, was for a Brazilian company that was looking for diagnostic kits for research, which is much less regulated in Brazil. It's much easier to work with them here. So we had this company, Brazilian company, that met 4 U.S. companies during the show, and they could import 2 different line of products to the universities that are their clients. So what we can say is that this is a very successful, it's a very important tool that would like to see the companies using more and more. And this is my contact information. I'm here located in São Paulo, Brazil, and I'm looking forward to meeting you there at the AACC 2014. Thank you very much, and now I'm going to move back to Teresa.
Okay, thank you, Jefferson. Okay, so the next part of our presentation is going to be on the international market briefing, and we have Isaiah Donaldson. Isaiah?
Hi, everyone. It's not Isaiah Donaldson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Beth Hampton. I'm AACC's VP Marketing and Communications. So I hope everybody can hear me. And I was going to also, I wanted to thank Christian, Tony, and Jefferson. I thought that was really informative, and I've learned a lot of additional things about the program as well. So I hope everyone else has that's on the call today. So the International Market Briefing is actually in its 17th year for 2014, and the program was developed and continues to be aimed at supporting the efforts of the AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo exhibitors that are expanding into global markets. So the event has become somewhat of a tradition for exhibitors on Monday morning, and at the 2014 meeting in Chicago, we'll once again hold it starting on Monday morning at about 7:30 with a networking continental breakfast, and then going through till about the 11:30 or noon hour. So I'll go through briefly the program. If we could go to the next slide. I'm not sure how to advance.
I've got that.
You're terrific. Great. And I wanted to introduce the program committee, which is a group of individuals. Some are new this year, and some have been on the committee for many years, who have the sort of the ability to identify some of the trends and areas that we think that the community is interested in learning about. We also do a survey each year for among the attendees that are at the session to understand better what areas the next year's attendees would like to learn about. So between the committee and listening to exhibitors that are in attendance, we feel that we've put together a program that attempts to meet the interests and needs of the community. I want to also do a shout out to Erba Diagnostics for being the 2014 sponsor. So thank you once again to Erba Diagnostics. It's an important group that attends this session, this half-day conference, we have about 700 high-level executives from exhibiting companies, and it is an invitation-only event, and it is a benefit of exhibiting at the AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo. So the next slide, I'm just going to give everybody a little taste of what's in store for 2014. Greg Stutman, who is the Vice President of Boston Biomedical Consultants, has done the kickoff for the last several years and will continue to be there in 2014. Greg does a terrific job of giving a nice overview of the global markets for IBD, and so Greg will once again be there. Followed by Kristen Cirillo-Pothier, who is the partner and principal of the Commercial Advisory Services of Ernst & Young. This is a new session this year, and Kristen's going to talk about IVD spending in a broad sense, but also with some specific information about trends in South America and China, which actually came up from the survey this year of being the geographic regions of high interest among the attendees. So as I put in a networking break, because networking is very key for the international market briefing, and that is what we hear consistently year after year, that people who are attending really value the ability to network with one another. So after the break, we go into another new session for this year, which is what do laboratories need? So this is really hearing from people. We have two speakers lined up so far, Dr. Chen from the Beijing Hospital in Beijing, and Carl McAvoy from McAvoy and Farmer, who are going to talk a little bit about what they're hearing or experiencing from laboratory leaders and market experts from China and Brazil on what are the challenges and issues faced by labs in these emerging markets, particularly in the areas of technology and newer tests such as molecular diagnostics. The last panel, which we're still a little bit early, we have some speakers that are invited. I don't have anyone to confirm yet for this panel, but this was one that came from the committee and some write-in comments from the survey, is helping to expand your sales and market reach and finding the sort of the right distribution partners. So this is one that will close out the session. I think that's it. I think there's one more slide perhaps with my contact information. No, perhaps not. But I'm happy to be in contact with anyone if you have information on how someone from your company can get invited. We are about to do the save the date emails, and then once registration is open for this event, we'll send out another reminder that registration is open for this event. So because it's invitation only, we want to make sure that all exhibitors are invited and that you have the word gets to the right person within your company about the session. So please let me know. My email is bhampton@aacc.org, and I'm happy to speak with anybody separately or invite someone from your company who may be the right contact for this kind of program.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Beth. And as I said earlier, we will be sending all of you the copy of the PowerPoint, as well as we'll be putting it up on the exhibitor university sub-tab, so you can always look back to that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact any of us. And if you you can email me directly if you need contact information from one of our presenters today, and I'll be happy to share that with you. So we don't have any questions, so I want to thank you, Christian, Tony, Jefferson, and Beth, and thank you all for joining us this morning. And as always, we are here to help, so don't hesitate to contact any of us here on from J. Spargo Show Management, and we'll be able to help you with any of your issues regarding AACC Annual Meeting and Clinical Lab Expo. Goodbye. Have a great day.